Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles, elder bishops at Great Millstone. Shalom, mercy and safety to all of the Akim on the highways and byways, preaching the word in sincerity and in truth, and a healthy shalom to the elect. All right, back with another lesson through the Spirit, Lord willing. It is edifying. So I wanted to follow up on the last upload, the last video that I just uploaded a little earlier regarding a vision, a dream that my son had. My son is 5 years old. Just wanted to add some context to the vision that he had and why I recorded it. So, wake up in the morning about 6:30. My lady says to me, his name is Micah, by the way. Micah had a bad dream, and he had a rough night sleeping. I'm like, okay, did he tell you about the dream? She's like, nah, he didn't tell me. I didn't ask him. All right, cool. So I got in my mind, I'm already thinking spiritually, right? Like, what type of dream was it? Could have been something, could have been nothing, right? So I get him ready. We get dressed, put him in the car. And the Spirit told me to record him. I'm driving for about 5 minutes. His school is like 20 minutes out. I'm driving for like 5 minutes, and Spirit told me to ask him about it, but record it. You never know what you're gonna get, right? So I asked him. If you listen to the last video, you heard. It was only 2 minutes. You heard what he's seen in his dream. So Spirit made me record it, and I think it's important that I add that I have three little ones. I got 5 total kids, but I got 3 little ones, 5, 3, and 1, right? And my boys, 5 and 3, they both they pray in the names. They pray to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. When they eat, before they eat, every time they eat, and before they go to bed. I think it's important to mention that, again, as I continue to add more context to this conversation. The boys pray to the name. I always tell them if they're ever scared or they're ever in fear of something or they need help, to call on the names. And, I test them from time to time about, what do you do when you're scared and when you need help? So they'll say the names, which is, call Halal Yahweh Shema Shai for that. For them even remembering the names and just saying them. So I think it's important that I just mention that they do pray in the names. And so, yeah, man, through the Spirit, when she told me that, I had in my mind, okay, I'm really excited to hear what the dream was about. He said it was a scary one, but I'm always in the Spirit thinking about, because we know what the Scriptures say, and I'm about to get into it, but we know that a lot of the believers, a lot of the elect, the hopeful elect, will receive dreams and visions, and from young ages on, as the Scriptures say. So that's just a little context around the dream and why I recorded it, and I'm glad I caught it. Oh, another important thing is that when my son was explaining the dream, he said ocean. He said the word ocean like it was a monster, big, scary monster in the ocean. And I never heard him use that word before. He has a pretty decent vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think I ever heard him say ocean before. So for him, and he said it was scary. He was saying some stuff that was really shocking as I continued to listen to the testimony back, listen to the dream back. He said ocean. He said scary monster was in the ocean. That word shocked me. He said scary. I heard him say scary before, but he was really clear about what he's seen. And again, if you listen to the previous video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's it. I don't want to be too long-winded. Got a couple of scriptures here. And then I'll close out, Lord willing, it's edifying. So this is Acts 2:17. It says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith the Most High, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Okay? So we know in the last days, as Acts 2:17 states, and I think there's another, it's in another book as well. It goes into this, right? The last days, the Lord said he'll pour out his spirit upon all flesh, right? It says, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions. And this is exactly what I feel through the spirit my son did this morning. He was able to articulate it very well. Kids, man. The kids, they'll go through some shit and they'll say anything, But through the spirit, I feel like he was very calculated and accurate. And I was definitely shocked on how clear he was about it, because we know our kids. We know our kids are just kids talk a bunch of shit, and sometimes they be all over the place. He was very locked into the questions, and he was answering them very clear, right? And that was one of the shocking things, because my son, he plays too much. Like, he plays all the time. He's never really too serious. So he was very serious this morning, and he was able to explain the dream. So Acts 2:17 again, and it shall come to pass in the last days, which I want to stop there. In the last days, we know that we're in 2023, November. We know all of the things that are happening on planet Earth. We're measuring the times. We're 100% sure we are in the last of the last days, okay? So these scriptures are most certainly, these prophecies are most certainly hitting now more than ever, because now is the time for them to hit, right? It says, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, okay? And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So like I said, I feel as though, this was a very spiritual dream. And Micah, he it's very possible that I would say demons be trying to torment him a little bit in his sleep, because he always goes through it when he sleeps. This is something that happens with him a lot. Like, he always waking up, he's always like kicking, he's always like tweaking a little bit. And so I'll definitely continue to pray over him, and use some anointing oil and pray over him, and the water for the brotherhood, for the body, brothers who have, through the spirit, just out of the blue, told me to carry around my anointing oil, and use it, and so, and it's through the spirit that the beloved brother Yazayan, he approached me the other day, a few weeks back, and he brought up the anointing oil and to keep it on you. And then just, I think 2 days ago, the beloved Apostle Ricard, he mentioned, he sent out an order that men, start anointing brothers as they come and go from in and out of state, and, but I think the bigger key was to start using it on brothers, man, to really start using the anointing oil and praying over the brothers and praying over your family. So, the water for those beloved brothers for just through the Spirit being able to say that. And so it definitely hits me now more than ever, being that I know my son be actually going through it a little bit. All right, so I'll close out here. I'm going to get to Job really quick, and I want to go into what I feel through the Spirit my son had the dream about. Okay, Leviathan, of course. So he's mentioned in the dream, big scary monster, 3 eyes, scary, is big, right? In the ocean. And Job 41:1 describes Leviathan, a creature of the Lord, okay? One of the Lord's creatures that will reveal himself, okay? Very, very soon, because we know we are in the last days of the last days, the last of the last days. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read a couple of these scriptures to make the point. Job 41:1. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Okay, so these are questions being asked, right? Can you draw out Leviathan? Can you catch Leviathan with a hook? The answer is no. With a cord which thou lettest down, like you would do with a normal fish, or even bigger fish, right? Canst thou put a hook into his nose, like you would do with a fish, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Okay. Will he make any supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Not Leviathan, absolutely not. Wilt thou play with him as with a bird? Or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? You ain't gonna be this. Leviathan ain't no pet to be playing with, okay? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Okay. Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fishy spears? Lay thine hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Okay. It says, let's keep going. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down, even at the sight of him? All right, so this is explaining Leviathan. Okay, I'm gonna jump down to verse 13. Who can discover the face of his garment? Okay, or who can come to him with his double bride? Right? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. Okay, and if you know anything about Leviathan, and these scriptures are explaining it, this is a terrible, terrible, terrible beast, okay? That's going to cause holy hell on the planet Earth, right? It says his scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. Okay, so his scales, his skin is going to be, you ain't going to be able to penetrate, right? Through the scales of Leviathan. All right. One is so near to another that no air can come between them, meaning that it's a very tight, I ain't even gonna say bulletproof, just a very, very what's the word? Something you can't penetrate. Okay. Let's jump down to 19. Let's jump down to 18. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. That's very, very bright. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. So this Leviathan is able to shoot out fire out his mouth, okay? Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron, okay? His breath kindled coals, and a flame go out of his mouth, okay? So these are the characteristics and the attributes and the description, Salakia, the description of Leviathan. And through the Spirit, I feel as if that's what my son was explaining in his dream. A big scary monster in the ocean. And so that's really it. I just wanted to bring that out just to provide some more context about the dream, about the vision that he had. And I immediately, when he was telling me the dream, once he said ocean, and I said, oh man, he might have had a vision of Leviathan, okay? Because he kind of explained it really well, man, through the Spirit. So that's really it, man. Our young men, the women shall prophesy, they shall dream dreams and have visions. So through the Spirit, I feel this is exactly what happened, today. And mind you, my boys 5 and 3 do pray in the Lord's name, man, and they know the Lord's name. So I feel like it's very possible that the Lord gave him this vision. All right. So that's it. That's all I got. Lord willing, it was edifying, provided more context to the vision that he had. All right. Shalom to the next one. Shalom.